Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check it out. Here's the headlines for you. Bill Gates celebrating authoritarian control. Oh, that's right. And by the way, what's going on? News breaking now. Polysign foreclosure sale. Somebody tell me what's going on. We got that in the big spot Bitcoin ETFs too. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Pymts. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. We got 3 targets for XRP price to look at today, too, by the way. Right now, $1.69 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 3.4%. Good afternoon, good evening, what is it? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter wherever you are. There it is. Had to get it out here. 42,600 plus right now for Bitcoin. $2,287 and change for Ethereum. And the market cap for Tether is 90.6 billion plus. And we don't know quite how the government feels about it, but we're going to find out soon enough. XRP number 5 spot 62 cents, up 1.5 on the 24-hour, off by 1.7 on the 7-day. Range of price between 61 and 63 cents. We're right smack dab in the middle, we should say. And this is I Trust Capital, ladies and gentlemen. And think about the onset of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Where would you like to have your gains experienced? Inside of an IRA where they're tax-free, or on an exchange where you're buying and you're going to pay capital gains? That's what you're up against. That's the decision you should be asking yourself today, because you can get that same exposure to these spot Bitcoin ETFs by buying Bitcoin itself inside your own back office of your own IRA at I Trust Capital. Listen, this is the best crypto, gold, silver IRAs on the planet. And with predictions of gold going to $3,000, you might want to have that conversation with yourself about gold inside of your IRA as well. All right, let's get started here. Link for my sponsor underneath the video. Anthony Welfare, Ripple Advisor. He's down in the tunnels. He's underground in London. Get him, Anthony. And apparently it's cold there too. Yeah, he's bundled up there. Stay bundled up. We need you, Anthony, doing the work that you need to do for all of us here. Look at this. Breaking, Valkyrie just updated its spot Bitcoin ETF application again. SEC giving clear signals now. Look, all signs are pointing towards this seeing a massive approval of lots of applications for the spot Bitcoin ETF here. To add more light to this here, Eleanor Tarrant, who's back, don't call her to come back. She's been here for years. This is possible or probably obvious at this point, but it seems the SEC never asked Grayscale to refile its Bitcoin spot ETF proposal after losing to the asset manager in court. The agency has been engaging with Grayscale's existing application, as you can see here noted, December 7th, December 8th, and so on and so on. Here's the most recent, December 11th here, meetings with BlackRock, iShares, Bitcoin Trust. If we just go back through all of this very quickly here, you will see Franklin Templeton there, right? December 7th, Fidelity, West Origin, Bitcoin Trust. And I believe it's this one right here, December 8th with Grayscale and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So you see that. Look, I mean, we're waiting, and this could be days away, as they say, right? But here is Gary Gensler. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, Gary Gensler didn't want to talk about Bitcoin or crypto to Kaylee Lenz here. But let's listen to what he said as he was really just condescending towards her about how dare you ask me about Bitcoin when we just did such incredible work over the Treasury here. Take a listen.
Obviously, the Commission and the staff of the Commission is still hard at work on a number of issues, one of them dealing with a number of filings of spot Bitcoin ETFs. You know, Mr. Chair, I have to ask you this question. There has been a lot.
I suspected we did something very significant about the $26 trillion Treasury market, which is really the base of our entire capital markets. It's how we fund our government. It's how our Federal Reserve does monetary policy. It's how we maintain the dollar dominance around the globe. And you want to ask me about crypto?
In my defense, Commissioner Ueda also brought up crypto in this open meeting.
Priorities. I mean, the U.S. Treasury market is a very consequential, very important market. Crypto securities are not only much smaller, it's not how we fund our government, it's not how we conduct monetary policy, and for many investors, they've been harmed in that market. And they're being harmed because there's too much non-compliance. And it's not just non-compliance with securities laws, it's non-compliance with a raft of other laws. Our sister regulator in the market space, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and Financial Crimes Enforcement. But again, I do ask, and if you look at the focus and the priorities, the U.S. Treasury market and what we did today is really quite important to our capital markets.
Absolutely, and that's why we have discussed it, but you are actively engaging with a number of matters related to crypto specifically. So I think, sir, this is fair game, especially when you are having staff meeting with a number of issuers in recent days.
I'm glad that you at least now agree that the priorities were more to the Treasury market. So what is your question about...
Obviously,
the condescending
Treasury
arrogance
market. So
of
what
this
is your
guy.
question
Here's where he picks it up here.
to the Treasury market? So what is your question about Bitcoin?
we have seen in recent days SEC staff engaging with issuers of a number of which have filed for spot ETFs. We've seen a number of amendments to those filings. It seems that market participants in crypto have a sense that we are reaching the end stages here. Typically, is this kind of engagement with the SEC not prejudging anyone filing, but the level of engagement we are seeing signifying of things getting easier, closer to resolving, or things getting more difficult?
Again, we have, I think, somewhere between 8 and a dozen filings in front of this agency with regard to exchange-traded products around Bitcoin. And the staff of the various divisions respond when market participants have filings. We also had a court case earlier this fall in this regard, and so we do things according to our authorities and how courts interpret our authorities, and that's what we'll do here as well.
I think you're referring there to the Grayscale case. Just one final question related.
Well, you know, it's interesting enough. He leans into in doing what the court says we can do or not. Well, that hasn't stopped him as of yet, right? You know, Congress really does need to step up here. But let's understand something, because it is important for us to understand the potential size market that will be moving money into ETF, especially spot Bitcoin ETFs. Take a listen to this clip here.
I think that the crypto world that I'm now a part of doesn't really understand the scale of these ETFs and doesn't understand the kind of the wall of money that potentially could be coming into Bitcoin. And just to give you a number, I asked a friend of mine who's in crypto, who's pretty active, wrote a couple books on Bitcoin, he's pretty active in the podcasting, Mark Jeffrey. I said, Mark, what would you estimate the size of the global ETF market? And he's like, I don't know, $1 trillion. I said, what if I told you there's $10 trillion of ETFs? So that number is kind of crazy, right? If you think about it. And what's even more crazy is that number was 300 billion in 2000, right? So right around when I left Wall Street, it was 300 billion. So it's grown from 300 billion to 10 trillion. So this is not some sort of cycle, theoretical, what if the property market became tokenized? What if people, this is active ETFs that are trading today. It's a $10 trillion market, and it's, primarily in our jurisdiction. It's in the U.S., European jurisdiction. So this is not, stocks that are trading in China or anything like that. This is, ETFs run by, I think BlackRock itself has about $6 trillion in ETFs right now, just to give you the scale of the market. So I just don't think that people in the crypto world understand that there's, $10 trillion of actual movable money. And the way that this money is kind of allocated is also very different from, I would say the way that crypto people think about buying and selling, or degens think about investing now. So it's really allocated in a very passive investing strategy.
It sure is, and it's going to be a lot of money when they do, if they approve these things. Now let's get a nod for Ripple here, because this is the OMFIF right here, and they're talking about the survey that was done with central banks with the help of Ripple. I'm not going to play this whole video so you can breathe a sigh of relief, but let's just hear the Ripple nod, and we'll get into the rest of it.
Dynamic and evolving payments landscape. This year, I'm very, very pleased to say that we've pushed the boundaries of our research. As well as surveying central banks' forays into digital currencies, we've also gathered new research on central bankers' attitudes to improving cross-border payments. As you'll find in our report, and as you'll hear in our presentation of findings, it's become increasingly clear, for example, that central banks have had enough with high transaction costs and are prioritizing cost reduction. Another telling finding is connecting CBDCs cross-border remains an important priority. However, more faith is placed in interlinking faster payment systems as being the panacea to solve the cross-border problem. We hope the report reveals further insights which can be used as a powerful tool to help drive and define public and private sector collaboration in the coming years, especially at a time when geopolitics may create further fragmentation and division. I'd like to firstly thank our esteemed report partner Ripple for their contribution and wider leadership across the industry, as well as our DMI members for always helping guide and shape our work. Finally, we also thank our central banks that participated in the survey and those that consulted us on the research. Without you, we would not be able to continue to create these findings for the public good.
There you have it. These findings for the public good, they came from a couple different places that they had to give a nod to. Central banks and Ripple. Yeah, that keeps me calm in markets like this and days like this. As it was yesterday that the news broke that Polysign, that is correct, Polysign is being affected because it's up for a foreclosure sale. Now, what in the world is going on here? The details of the Polysign auction. Per the announcement, Polysign entered into a loan and security agreement with Boathouse Capital, a private equity company, last April to facilitate the loan. Polysign pledged its assets, including equity interest in itself and its subsidiaries and intellectual property rights. Now that the firm has failed to repay the loan, the agreement demands that it be sold alongside its subsidiaries to compensate the lender, Boathouse Capital. The foreclosure sale will take place on January 5th, 2024 at the offices of Latham Watkins in New York, if there's not a resolution before then. Now, what do I know? This is what I know. This is all I know. I know what this article has said, and I understand that the word from Polysign through link to is that they are working towards a resolution in this matter very quickly. And we have to pay attention in the next coming days because, as you know, the sale was set for January 5th. So I would expect that we would hear about some kind of resolution, hopefully, of this being rectified and dealt with very quickly. You know, but we have to understand, too, that we don't understand all the facts here. Right? So we need to be very careful as we move forward. This here is a statement from Link 2, and I think it serves best. Shout out to Yassin Mubarak for this. It says, 2 days ago, Polysign CEO Jack McDonald reached out to inform us about the foreclosure action filed against Polysign by its lender, Boathouse Capital. Since then, Polysign team has been working diligently to resolve the situation in a constructive way. In the coming days, Polysign is hopeful it will be able to share more information regarding this resolution. In the meantime, Polysign is serving its customers in the crypto custody and funds administration businesses in a normal way without legal or financial impediments. So in other words, your assets are completely safe on the platform. No doubt about it. And let's talk about this now. And as we get more information on that, we will bring it to you. But that is where we are. And there is no relationship between Polysign and Ripple outside of the fact that David Schwartz and Arthur Brito are co-creators of the ledger, right? And now they went over to do the thing that they're doing at Polysign. And I am hopeful for a positive resolution that allows everybody to move forward. We will see how it shakes out. I want to update you on this. Metaco recently acquired by Ripple. And hey, wouldn't that be nice? Why don't we just have Ripple come in and buy this thing up, right? Yeah, let's do it. Glad we could help out. Metaco and RuleMatch. And by the way, this isn't funny. I do want to share this. I am a huge shareholder in Polysign. So, you know, just as a reminder, you know, when you hear my demeanor and stuff, I have a huge amount of investment in this company. And I am very hopeful that they will straighten this out. But I'm also reminded, just as I get excited about the idea of markets going really up and we have huge gains, I am reminded in moments like this that you are investing in different things and investments can go to zero, even the ones you don't expect to. So be very careful, and buyer beware, all of those things, to no matter what you decide to invest in. Meanwhile, Metaco and RuleMatch, all cryptocurrencies on RuleMatch are handled in segregated wallets powered by Metaco Harmonize. Love seeing all of this collaboration, cooperation coming together that's taken place since the Ripple acquisition of Metaco. So very excited about that. So if you go down here, congratulations to RuleMatch for the successful launch of its interbank crypto trading venue, enabling banks and security service firms to trade cryptocurrencies at speeds unrivaled in the market today, leveraging tech from Metaco and NASDAQ. How about that? So now it seems like they're tying into banks. Not long from now, we're going to be able to go right to your bank and get you some crypto. Isn't that what it sounds like? That's what it sounds like to me. Let's take a look at the top 3 targets for XRP. Curious about the specifics? Check out May 2022 post for all the details. You can see the target is 85 cents to $1. Complete it. It says targets 2 are $5.50 might be achieved in 2 weeks. Eggrad Crypto suggests here. Target 3, $6.40, Fibonacci 1.618, which we know is an important line on the Fibonacci charts with XRP, will be extended wick, as you can see here. So those are your 3 price targets you want to watch out for. And I want to see them all met for everybody in this thing. But we got to keep watching to see what it does. That's where we're at on this day. Join us in the Freedom Zone. Go to digperspectives.com. Underneath the video, put it in the search bar. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the channel too. I'd appreciate that. I haven't asked that in a long time. And if you guys haven't done it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Just join. We're here, and we got so much going on inside the Freedom Zone. And today we're going to talk about Bill Gates celebrating authoritarian power over top of citizens and taking their rights. And he's cool with it. You don't believe me, you're going to hear him say it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.